Well, folks, the day that most of us have been expecting to happen anytime within the last 12 months is finally right around the corner, and that is the day that Sarah Huckabee Sanders will walk out of the White House for the last time. It was announced yesterday that at the end of June, Sarah Huckabee Sanders will be leaving the Trump administration and returning to her home state of Arkansas. Now, the reason I say we expected this day anytime within the last 12 months is because if you remember, before last summer, reports were coming in saying Huckabee Sanders was gone at the end of summer. And then it was she's going to be gone by Thanksgiving. Then it was she's going to be gone by Christmas. And then those reports seemed to die off because Sarah Huckabee Sanders herself just kind of stopped doing press briefings. Everybody almost forgot about her, but I guess she's tired of doing nothing and wants to retire to do even less because God knows she's not going to get a job anywhere else because she's such a horrible, lying human being. But she doesn't see herself that way. And in fact, shortly after this announcement was made, she spoke at Politico's Women Rule event where she actually talked about what she thinks her legacy is going to be. And here it is. These are her words. "I hope that it will be that I showed up every day and I did the very best job that I could to put forward the president's message, to do the best job that I could to answer questions." But Sarah, you didn't answer questions every day. In fact, you haven't answered questions in a very long time. And even when you were supposed to be answering questions, even then you didn't actually answer the questions. You danced around it. You insulted reporters. You told them you got to go talk to, X, Y, or Z over here because I don't know the answer. They don't tell me things. So no, you may have shown up every day. We don't even know that because technically you weren't even actually doing your job, which is to hold a daily press briefing. So we're going to have to take it at your word that you were actually there at the White House. But no, let's get that part of your legacy right out of the way to start with. You did not answer questions. You did not do the best that you could. You did a really horrible job. And if you go apply for another job, you don't have to pad your resume because everybody knows what your resume is because it was available to the American public. But you continued and you said something even dumber. "To be transparent and honest throughout that process and do everything I could to make America a little better that day than it was the day before." That's sweet. It's like a Hallmark card, right? I just want today to be better than yesterday and tomorrow to be better than today. Isn't that what we all want for the world, right, Sarah? Except here's the thing. You weren't transparent and you weren't honest. In fact, of all the words available to describe who you are as a person, the words transparent and honest don't even come to mind. You were the exact opposite of that. You were a lying obstructionist. That was your job. That was your role, your duty to go out there every day to lie on behalf of your boss, obstruct honest questions about honest issues, to give half answers, to insult reporters, to do whatever you could to not have to answer questions honestly and transparently. But you know what? Sarah Huckabee Sanders during this Politico event did actually address that because she knows everybody thinks she's a liar. So she wanted to make it clear. And she said the following here. She said, "There's a difference between misspeaking or not knowing something than maliciously lying." So there it is, folks. I guess that's her legacy. She wasn't maliciously lying to us. She was just a complete idiot because she didn't know the answer. But rather, I guess, than saying, listen, hey, I don't know. I wish I knew. They don't tell me anything. She lied about it. Or she said something that wasn't untrue because she didn't want to look like she didn't know. Sarah, that is maliciously lying. If somebody asks you a question and you don't know the answer, but you try to answer it anyway so you don't look like an idiot, you're intentionally, maliciously misleading that person. That's what that is. So you can call it whatever the hell you want to call it. Oh, I misspoke. I didn't know the answer. I was wrong every now and then. At the end of the day, you chose to be wrong. You chose to give an answer on something you didn't know, or you chose to misspeak. These weren't accidents on your part. This is exactly what you set out to do. And that, Sarah, is going to be your legacy. One of today's video sponsors is Skillshare. Skillshare is an online learning community that offers thousands of videos for users to help learn new skills. Skillshare is absolutely phenomenal if you want to learn how to video edit, if you want to learn how to edit photos, if you want to learn how to cook, learn about nutrition, staying in shape, whatever it is, Skillshare has the videos and knowledge to help you learn this. Now, there's lots of different reasons why this could be helpful. Maybe you just want to do better in your life. Maybe you want to make a career change. Whatever it is, Skillshare has something to offer. And right now, what they're offering is the first 500 users who go to the custom URL below will get 2 whole months of Skillshare absolutely free. Now, I've actually been using Skillshare now for several months, teaching myself a little bit of video editing, trying to get better at that, photo editing. This is incredibly helpful and useful information that they have available. And again, the first 500 Ring of Fire users to use that custom URL below can get 2 months absolutely free. Just go to skl.sh/ringoffire5. Following that custom URL, which is also in the video description below, first 500, 2 months absolutely free.